Ready? Yes. Josh.
What?
Portland bound, are you ready? Yeah! After receiving assistance to our gate, we boarded our plane, got settled, and watched some Big Bang Theory and New Girl that was provided on the flight. We also got to see some amazing views of Portland as we touched down. Since it was the first day, we didn't have our bus passes yet, so we ended up taking Uber almost everywhere. We got to see views of Mount Hood, and also drove across the Columbia River Gorge, where we also got to see Washington across the way. We stopped by Albertsons to pick up our bus passes, and then headed to Lardo's for some late lunch. They decorated their wall with some lit up letters that say "Pig Out," and I thought that was pretty cool. We got to enjoy some really nice beers and some pretty good sandwiches. Josh ended up getting the pork shoulder sandwich, which was the most popular one, and I got the tuna sandwich. We ended up walking off our dinner by going to the Lloyd Center, which has this famous indoor ice rink.
Someone to skate with me.
Yes,
It's
I do.
unromantical.
I'm not unromantic. $21 is a lot to skate. We could spend all that money on like food.
Liquor.
Or that. So now we gotta find something to do because we walked all the way here. Seriously? It was pretty much just like any typical day at the mall. We just ended up walking to Forever 21 and Ross, and then walked up to the third story to just look at everything from above, as well as the ice rink since it was too expensive to skate. For dinner, we had McMinimans, which is this famous bar. We had some nice tots and whiskey and grilled cheese.
So this is the whiskey flight here at was it McMinimans?
Yes.
This first one is Monkey Puzzle. This one is Billy something. This one is the Hogshead.
And then he got lager to go with it. And then I got the rum sample. So this is the 3 Rocks, the spiced one, and then the Frank's High Proof. So which one are you gonna try first?
Wait, but this Monkey Puzzle.
Okay, do the
Why
monkey.
is it a puzzle?
That's the puzzle. Cheers, me. I'm having the original 3 Rocks rum. After trying the tots at McMinimans, we got some ketchup, or we were offered some ketchup, and after trying it, I loved it so much that I asked the waiter where I could buy it, and he gave one to us. Can we just pause to appreciate that awesome ketchup? Because it didn't really make the flight since I couldn't get it through check-in through our carry-on.
I couldn't.
So,
I got the embarrassment.
we really miss you, Portland ketchup.
Ketchup will sway you. I don't even like ketchup.
I know. We're gonna insert a clip right here of him trying the ketchup. Here we go, Josh. Organic Portland ketchup.
To prove I eat ketchup now. Huh. It does taste tomatoey here.
Tastes good though, huh?
It's okay. It's whatever.
Would you rather have that over Heinz?
Yeah.
Good morning!
Good morning, Oregon.
Yeah. I don't remember. We are going to Voodoo Donuts for breakfast this morning.
Donuts.
A famous donut shop that has really wacky flavors. We were looking them up yesterday.
So we're gonna be going to Powell Books, which is apparently a super huge bookstore. Then from there, we're gonna check out this place called Fire on the Mountain for wings and beer during happy hour. Right before we go check out the Trailblazers play the Hornets.
Yes!
Go see Dame Dollars.
I seriously think we just missed our bus. Oh well. So it's gonna be a fun-filled day today.
Since we had our hop passes, we ended up taking public transportation for a majority of our time left in Portland. Also, we qualified for a pass that is pretty much for people who are low income, seniors, and people with disabilities. They called it their Honored Citizen Pass, which I thought was pretty interesting and super PC. One thing I really liked about the Portland buses is that not only did they announce what stops you were at, but they also announced what buses you can transfer to. It's time for Voodoo Donuts, which is a pretty popular spot here in Portland. It was pretty interestingly decorated, including the giant donut hanging from the ceiling. So we got the Voodoo Doll Donut, the Grape Ape, the Blazing Blunt, and the Old Dirty Bastard. Pretty good. And of course, like every other tourist, we had to stop by the Keep Portland Weird sign. And now we are here at the Powell City of Books, which is the largest independent bookstore in the world. So of course there's a lot of books, a lot of shelves, and for some reason a skeleton with a jacket on its crotch. One thing we really liked about the bookstore were the note cards that let us know which books the staff enjoyed. On the note card it included the title, a little bit about the book, and why the staff member liked it. So now it's time to hop on the bus and head on over to the Moda Center where we're watching the Trailblazers take on the Hornets. This was cool for me, being only my second live NBA game. So we had a great time, but one thing that sucked was that the Trailblazers destroyed the Hornets. It was a 30-point game. It would have been nicer if it was close, but hey, we still had a lot of fun.
We were also really entertained by the dunking contest, where the players would run and jump off a trampoline and dunk the ball into the hoop. That was super exciting to watch. We started off with some breakfast at a restaurant across the street from our Airbnb called Tamale Boy. Josh had the Huevos Rancheros, and I had the Chilequiles, and they were so delicious. We then hopped on to a bus to the light rail where we caught the yellow line to catch the aerial tram to see views of the city. Riding the light rail was a fun experience just because we got to see a lot of views of the city we never thought we would ever see. The aerial tram actually takes you to a hospital, but the ride up is absolutely beautiful. It was so pretty. We got to see aerial views of the whole entire city, including Mount Hood as well as Mount St. Helens in the distance. Afterwards, we visited the Adida's employee store, and unfortunately I lost the footage of it, so I don't have many clips of it. We also had dinner at a restaurant called Little Big Burger, which is a local burger spot in Portland, but I unfortunately don't have the footage for that either. We ended up having some drinks at this neighborhood bar called Tough Luck, where we got some pretty good cocktails, and ended the night with a nice bath.
So now day 4, and we are heading over to Blue Star Donut, which people say tastes better than Voodoo. So rather than taking a 45-minute bus ride to get there, we decided to have fun with an Uber. We thought it would be pretty funny to see if anyone would accept an Uber split even if they weren't on the ride with us. So out of the people who I sent requests to, only 2 of them responded to me. That was my coworker Hong and my cousin Shelly. And even though they responded, they did not accept the split. Now, even though Blue Star did not have as many eccentric options as Voodoo, I did think that it was a lot better. It was definitely less overwhelming. We got the lemon Poppyseed, the bourbon blueberry basil, and the cinnamon sugar.
As we were walking down Mississippi Avenue, we happened to run across a apartment complex that was leasing, so on a whim we decided to take a tour of a couple apartments. We got to see a spacious studio and 3 one-bedroom apartments, and I have to say that there was a lot of space for a good price, and everything looked really nice. It was fun just to see what the housing market was like over there, and at one point I was briefly considering moving to Portland.
Now we are here at a vintage guitar shop, which is really close to the apartment complex. They definitely had a lot of cool guitars and really nice sounding acoustics. We ended up stopping into this neighborhood dog shop, and I don't know why I wanted to buy a bunch of things for Madison's dog. I don't have a dog, but it was just cool to stop by in there. There's this cute, super fluffy dog that came in with its owner.
We then visited the shop called Paxton Gate, which was recommended to us by our waiter at a bar, and they actually have this store in San Francisco, but it was cool to see it in Oregon too. There was a bunch of taxidermy animals and plants, which was an interesting combination, but it was still fun to walk around. We also walked into this really eclectic looking shop, and they had cool stickers and clothes, but we ended up not buying anything from there.
And again, another bookstore before we hit up a food pod. On Mississippi Avenue, Madison had Drunken noodles for dinner, and I had a pho sandwich, which was a sandwich that included pho ingredients, and it came with a side of broth, and all of this was from the White Elephant. So the real challenge of the trip was us trying to fit the things that we bought into our luggage. Before we even left for Portland, I was telling Madison that it would be a good idea to bring an extra bag. That way we can check something in, but of course, I did not do that at all. So we had to play Tetris with everything. Fortunately, with a lot of refolding and reorganizing, we were able to fit everything into our personal bag and our carry-on, including the ketchup that Madison wasn't able to get.
The last day of the trip, we hopped on a bus and headed over to Starbucks so that Josh can get his mom a mug so she can add it to her collection. And then for lunch, Josh found this restaurant called the Grilled Cheese Grill, and basically the owners renovated an old school bus and turned it into a restaurant. It had booths and tables and everything. It was pretty legit. And it even had this really eclectically decorated ceiling, and it just had a bunch of people in animal costumes interacting with monsters. So I thought that was pretty funny, and we just had to add it into the video. Josh ended up ordering the Cheesus, which is your typical burger, but it had grilled cheese sandwiches as the buns. I ended up just getting a standard grilled cheese sandwich, but it had tomato and spicy mustard, and it was pretty good. On our way to the airport, we tried doing another Uber challenge, but with my contacts this time. And so I tried splitting it with people who I knew had the app, and only one person ended up responding. Shout out to Raymond for being the most awesome friend ever. We will definitely get ramen sometime, as long as you're paying for my Uber. We celebrated our departure with a wine and beer at the airport bar before boarding our plane. The flight was really peaceful. Honestly, I think both of us were asleep for most of it, but it was nice and seamless, there were no problems, and we were greeted with some really beautiful night views of the city. And then we had to take an air tram to get us back to BART, so that was kind of an experience because it was very well hidden. But we ended up getting there, and getting home was actually not that bad. Alright, well, we hope you liked that video.
Yes.
This is kind of hard.
Unfortunately, there were a few things that didn't make it in. For example, one of the restaurants that we both thought was pretty good was Fire on the Mountain. I know we mentioned it as we were going to Voodoo. It was a pretty good place. They had wings and beer. Some of the wings that I got were spicy peanut butter and a sweet raspberry kind of wing. And both of those individually were good. And on the website, it said, put the two together to make some type of wing peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And of course, I had to do it, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I got the spicy peanut butter and the, I think it was like chipotle something.
Something like that. We also didn't get to get shots of the Adida store. There was a lot of stuff. It's pretty cool. If you get a chance, check it out. There was a bunch of shoes all over the place, a bunch of clothes, and of course a lot of chaos.
We ended up staying in the Adida store for super long. You can get lost in there for hours and hours, which is what we did. And we ended up having, was it dinner?
Yeah, it was dinner.
Dinner at Little Big Burger, which is a pretty good burger spot in my opinion.
Yeah, people were saying that it's comparable to In-N-Out, which for me, I thought it was pretty close, but I still think In-N-Out is better.
I think that it's better than In-N-Out because they have a veggie patty there, and it's pretty awesome.
She can't eat anything at In-N-Out. Grilled cheese sandwiches and french fries.
Which leads me to my next point. In-N-Out is better because of its sauce, and only that.
No.
That's what I think.
The bread's better, the meat's more seasoned. If they combine the two, it would be good. I like Little Big Burger's toppings because it doesn't make the burger super soggy like In-N-Out can get sometimes.
Okay.
We also got beer at a couple of places. We got one at Breakside Taproom. That was pretty good. We got to watch some of the Rams and Cowboys game over there. And we also stopped by a place on Mississippi Avenue, Storm Breakers.
It looked like a brewery, and it seemed like a super friendly place.
So those were the things that we weren't able to get in the video, but other than that, we hope you enjoyed and stay tuned for our next trip.
The songs featured in this video are created by producers who are originally from Portland. If you'd like to check them out, they are Mike Mo Beats and Jim Bonus Beats. We'll be listing their socials down below so you can check out more of their stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.